Now, did you know that according to statistics, over 49 million people in the United States alone have tried online dating? While it can be a great way for singles to meet their perfect match, it's also an easy way for cyber criminals to seek out their victims, where they're not only robbed of their money, but their self-esteem too. We have Sabric Head of Relationship Management, Susan Potgieter, here to explain how romance scams work and how they can be avoided altogether. Welcome to the Loft, Susan. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard stories of how people meet online and fall in love and they live happily ever after, but we've also heard of disasters. And it's scary to think that people can single you out online and see you as a perfect victim. How does social media aid this?
Right, it's actually very, very sad because we are so trusting and we put information out there on social media platforms, and then these unscrupulous criminals abuse the information and win our trust. And then, of course, unfortunately, sometimes people lose money over and above all the other things that you've already mentioned. So social media allows people to communicate across the globe. And of course, through this easy way of communication and the fact that it's virtual, there is opportunity to exploit.
Yes.
So what happens is these criminals choose their victims, and then of course they really work at gaining the trust and then exploiting. And as soon as there's some level of trust, they then, unfortunately, in many instances, start asking for money.
And they cash in.
Absolutely.
What role does social engineering play in this process?
Well, it just facilitates the whole process because it's a virtual medium. So you can pretend to be whoever you like on social media. The realities need to be verified after the fact. But whilst the communication flows, the person with whom's being communicated believes what they hear and what they see in many instances. Very often the photographs that are used are not those of the communicator at all. Wow. The storyline is generally fictitious. You'll find that the gentlemen who sort of target the middle-aged and elderly ladies who they believe might have some wealth always have these very, very interesting jobs. They're either in the Navy or they're working on oil rigs and so forth. But there's a trend there, and that is that it's impossible for them to actually meet or pop over for coffee.
Right.
So that's part of the story. Very often it's also in another jurisdiction, also again to avoid having to make contact.
Wow. Sure. I mean, now that you say it, it makes it so obvious, right? What are other basically alarm bells that we can look out for, anyone trying to online date can look out for to make sure that they're not getting scammed?
Right. Facebook as one of the social media platforms that are being abused for this kind of scam. If you were to click on the communicator's Facebook profile, you'll generally see one or two photographs and there'll be no communication history. So that's a dead giveaway. Often the gentlemen look very, very handsome as well, and it could be a model's photo, and you might even recognize the model's
like
photo.
If I'm going to choose a picture, I'm going to choose a gorgeous woman.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because you want the best opportunity for somebody to be interested in you. So those are the giveaways. Also, the speed at which the communicator wants to progress the relationship to the next level is also alarming. Very often the communication style is a giveaway as well. You'll see a lot of cut and paste in the messages themselves because the way that the criminals deal with these kind of scams is they probably have a room full of communicators all responding to different profiles and cutting and pasting from the one profile to the other. Also, they tend not to use your name. It's communications like hi, beautiful, or flattering terminology and words because it's too difficult for them to remember who they're talking with at that point in time. So from a crime perspective, from a criminal perspective, it's a business. And of course, what they want out of this is money. So I think it's important just to say, please never ever send money to somebody that you've never met.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how sad the story is, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because in all likelihood, you will never hear from them again.
Yeah, there you have it. I mean, it doesn't matter how infatuated you're feeling or you feel like this is real, do not send money to somebody that you've never met on the internet. Now, did you know that the economic crime rate in South Africa for 2018 so far has risen to 77%? Knowingly or unknowingly, money laundering is a criminal offence. And join us next week when Susan Potgieter shares her insights about money laundering and how to avoid becoming a victim.
We are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are Sabric.